Some say that he invented November. And that if he'd won the World Championship in Brazil last weekend, there might have been one photograph of him without his father gurning in the back of shot. Some say that on really warm days he sheds his skin like a snake. And that for some reason he's allergic to the Dutch. Some say the Scottish released him a little bit too soon. And that he spent all week pushing an effigy of Rubens Barrichello through his desk fan.
Some say that his first name really is The, and that if he went on Celebrity Love Island, they'd all be pregnant, including the cameramen.
Some say that he doesn't like to get his helmet wet. A point that was proved last week when he was caught in the back of shot by an eagle-eyed viewer. Some say that he's recently been releasing pop records under the pseudonym of Lady Gaga. And that under his race suit, he also wears a red G-string and suspenders. Some say that he invented the curtain. And that he recently submitted a £20,000 expenses claim for some gravel. Some say that he once had a vicious knife fight with Anthea Turner. And that he is in no way implicated in the Cash for Honour scandal. Some say that he's a CIA experiment that went wrong, and that he only eats cheese. Some say that he is absolutely baffled by urinals. And that on reflection, this was a bad week to launch his debut single. Some say that on Thursdays he becomes incredibly bulbous. And that recently pigs in Mexico have started to die of something called stig flu. Some say he never blinks and that he roams around the woods at night foraging for wolves. Yeah, now some say that last week he was found in a locked room tied to a chair with German piano wire. And that this week MPs turned him down for the job of Speaker. Some say he's wanted by the CIA and that he sleeps upside down like a bat. Some say that he thinks crisps are animals. And that if he'd done well at Wimbledon, once in a while, he might have been able to raise a smile. Some say that he appears on high-value stamps in Sweden and that he can catch fish with his tongue. Some say that if you hold him in the wrong way, he doesn't work properly. And that just very recently, he developed an irrational hatred of Rubens Barrichello. Some say that he spent all week daydreaming about what Rubens Barrichello would look like in a ham slicer. And that he's terrified the BBC will reveal his salary because he's paid in strong pornography. Some say there are 17 different reasons why he's banned from the Northampton branch of Little Chef. And that his favourite airline pilot is Mark Webber. Now, some say he invented Branston Pickle. And that if you insult his mother, he will headbutt you in the chest. Some say that if you lick his chest, it tastes exactly the same as Piccalilli. And that at this week's Brit Awards, he was arrested for goosing Russell Brand. Some say that in the autumn, all his arms go brown and fall off. And that if he wrote you a letter of condolence, he would at least get your name right. Some say that he sucks the moisture from ducks. And that his crash helmet is modelled on Britney Spears' head. Some say that he has some terrible plans involving the moon. And that he was turned down for a place on I'm a Celebrity because he is one. Some say that in his wallet he keeps a photograph of his wallet. And that in a recent race, even he was beaten by the King's Speech. All we know is he's called the Stig. Some say that his new Christmas range of fragrances includes the great smell of Wednesday. And that he was turned down for the job of EU president because his face is just too recognisable.
Some say he isn't machine washable, and all his potted plants are called Steve.
Some say that the drinks cabinet in his car contains 14 different types of custard. And that while he has been known to leave his house in a bit of a hurry, he's never once hit a fire hydrant. Some say he is illegal in 17 US states, and he blinks this way. Some say that he doesn't understand the word envelope. And that he is the only woman in Britain not to have slept with Alan Johnson's policeman. Some say that he has to take his shoes off with an Allen key. And that his New Year's resolution is to eat fewer mice. Some say he once tore a goat in half. And that he is now regretting buying his new holiday home in downtown Cairo. Some say that you shouldn't go round to his house for your Christmas lunch unless you enjoy the great taste of seagull. And that the reason he always wears a helmet is because a man once smashed him in the face with a model of Salisbury Cathedral. Some say that he lives in a tree and that his sweat can be used to clean precious metals. Some say he naturally faces magnetic north and that all his legs are hydraulic. Some say that his breath smells of magnesium and that he's scared of bells. Some say that his voice can only be heard by cats and that he has 2 sets of knees.
Some say his skin has the texture of a dolphin's, and that wherever you are in the world, if you tune your radio to 88.4, you can actually hear his thoughts.
Some say that his heart ticks like a watch and that he's confused by stairs. Some say that he's terrified of ducks and that there's an airport in Russia named after him. Some say that his politics are terrifying and that he once punched a horse to the ground.